Alright, Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Kodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Lord willing, this edifying to the elect. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, the leaders of all Israel in these end times, showing us the correct way to salvation. Shalom to you, Akwaf in order, meaning you Israelite sisters that are in order, and shalom to you brothers out there on the highways and hedges, teaching this gospel in all sincerity and in truth, giving up your body as a living sacrifice, which is your reasonable service. And shalom to you Israelites that look like these other races of people, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, making you a Hebrew Israelite regardless of your appearance, because it ain't about color, it is about the chosen seed line, and the seed line of Israel, the Israelites, was scattered among all nations. Therefore, they're going to look like all nations. So we're not the black Hebrew Israelites. We're just the biblical Hebrew Israelites back in our lot in these end times, prophesying the downfall of Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, which is biblical prophecy. All right, so, in this lesson, I just got two clips I want to show that I came across recently involving the MOTB. We can't go in on the MOTB enough, man. It's a very important prophecy that, you need to get right. Other camps aren't really giving you, the truth concerning the mark of the beast. And it's a very important prophecy for you to get right, man. As a teacher, you must defend your congregation by preparing them with the correct tools, the correct armor, which is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of this Holy Bible, the prophecies, man. You got to arm your congregation, your sheep, with the truth, in order to defend themselves against, this major prophecy, because anyone that receives the mark of the beast, there's no repentance for that. Okay. So let's quickly turn to the book of Revelations. We're going to turn to chapter 16, or actually 13, verse 16. We're going to start at verse 16. Let's just start with this famous precept. And this is a prophecy that John the Revelator, a vision that he had on the Isle of Patmos in around 95 AD. And this is concerning the days that we're living in now. He was given a vision of a very important event that was going to take place in our generation. And, now with the merge of the AI technology, they've got their 5G towers, which they're, pushing for 6G. And, the technology's ripe and ready, for this prophecy to take place, man. Especially with the, the rise of the internet. The internet hasn't been around for too long. But now the time is ripe and ready for this prophecy of the mark of the beast. And this is Revelations 13, verse 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Now, when it says he causeth all, that he is talking about Esau, Edom, the people that rule the world right now, the people that are in rulership, they're in control, they're able to push this wickedness because it is in the power of their hand to do so. You understand? The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. So the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, easily proven with the scriptures, this is the he that's going to cause all to receive this. It's going to be mandatory. Okay, and that mark it's talking about is a physical mark, a RFID microchip. Okay, for those false prophets out there that are teaching false doctrines and leading our people astray, by this very important prophecy, man. They're giving you a ridiculous breakdown, basically throwing doo-doo at the wall, hoping it sticks. And you got people buying it, man. They actually have followers believing that nonsense, man. So it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, meaning everyone, free and bond, right? Everyone's going to have to receive this. It's mandatory for everyone to receive a mark, which is, the Greek word charagma. If you go into that word mark, the etymology, it's not the same as mark in some other precepts. This is specifically speaking about a physical mark, and you can learn this when you go into the etymology of the word mark. It means charagma, right? As a matter of fact, let's just go to it. Let's pull up the Blue Letter Bible. And if we go to the book of Revelations, chapter 13, I'm just going to scroll down to 16. And then we're going to go to the word mark. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. And that's G5480. It says charagma. So let's see what that word means. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark. Sounds pretty physical to me. That doesn't sound like no spiritual mark, as some false teachers are leading our people astray teaching. It says of a mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of followers of the Antichrist, which we know that there's many Antichrists, not just one. Okay, Antichrist is a spirit that's in the world that is upon many people, okay, including the Edomite, especially the Edomite, should I say. But as it says, it is a badge of the followers of the Antichrist, meaning a badge of servitude. Okay, just like, when you bore the ear of an animal, you own that animal. It's a form of a symbol of servitude, okay, which is a physical mark, okay? So once this microchip get lodged in your flesh, then you are basically property of Esau Edom. You have paid homage to the beast system. You have bowed down to this Antichrist, or anti-Hamashiach, should I say, NWO system, this beast system, okay? You've bowed down and submitted to the new world order, Esau's new world order. That's what you've done when you receive this physical mark, this charagma, okay? It says a mark, the mark branded upon horses, a thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images, okay? But the point being that charagma is where you get the understanding as to what this word mark means, okay? Because you have many people out there that are a bit slow, that well, it's not given to them to understand, let's just put it that way. But you have a lot of people out there that call themselves teachers that can't see what is so clearly laid out before them, okay? Some of them tell you not to go into the Greek and Hebrew when you need to, because, the Greek and Hebrew that was translated into English doesn't have the same strength, okay? It doesn't have the same strength when it's translated into English. That's why it's very important to go back into, the meaning of words, man. All right. Now, let's go back, okay? Because we don't need to go too deep. We've done many lessons on this, but it's a physical mark that they're going to put in your right hand or your forehead. Now, we have the RFID microchip, which is technology that they've invested a lot into. and they're not investing into it with no return. They are using this investment to enslave everyone. Okay, this is how they're going to control the whole world, which is their agenda, worldwide domination, man. Their new world order agenda. So what they're going to do is put a microchip in your right hand, which can open your car door. It can open your phone. It can open your car door, your house door, probably start your car. I mean, there's many things that this thing is going to do. It's going to seem miraculous. It's going to seem like the thing to get, the new wave of the future. And people are going to be giddy and excited about it, man. Not knowing that it is the very thing that is the Lord is setting people up to be destroyed and be judged. You know, it's the very instrument that the Lord is going to use to judge a lot of people, okay? And you got to have the eyes to see it for what it is. But you can't do that without faith. You can't do that without believing in what the scriptures say, that this mark is going to manifest in the end times. You have to have wisdom and spiritual discernment to be able to discern that you are in the end times. You're currently living in that time. Okay, you have to believe in the Holy Bible, man. Right? So if you don't believe, then you're gonna receive the MOTB. Okay. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. See, you can't make transactions. This your currency will be digitized, and it's going to be put on this device, this charagma that goes under your skin. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, that save he, except he that had the mark. He that had the mark. Okay, so the ones that have the mark are allowed to buy and sell. Okay. You can't partake in my system, Esau says, unless you take my mark. You're not allowed to go to the shops and buy sweets. You're not allowed to feed your family. This is a cruel, evil ruler ruling over us right now, okay? And if you people want to vote for Democrat, Republican, all that nonsense, you want the next Edomite to come in power and fix things, you are delusional. These people have more than proven that they are incapable of ruling, okay? So therefore, we need to lean upon prophecy, because the Lord says what the outcome of these current rulers is, that they're going to be destroyed. Anyone that bows down to their beast system is going to be destroyed with them, okay? And the only survivors are those that are calling on Yahweh Shim Yahushai, trusting in the prophecies, trusting in the word of the Lord coming through the prophets, okay, and doing that which is pleasing unto him, okay, which is enduring to the end, keeping the commandments to the best of your ability, and overcoming this beast system, this beast, the beast in his image, man, okay, which they're trying to, you know, roll out right now, okay? You have to be wise enough to discern what's going on, man, otherwise you're screwed out here, right? It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? Which is basically all going into the system, right? If you bow down to the system in any way, shape, or form, then you're through out here, man, okay? It says, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. So that man being Esau Edom, the same one that's going to cause you all to receive this mark, if you're not of the elect, should I say. And the number of the beast is 666, which Esau leaves hints everywhere letting you know that he's that man, and that's his favorite number, okay? Just look at the Trump Tower. I believe that's on 666 something Boulevard. Who knows, man? But I know there's something to do with 666, that Trump Tower. Or it could be something to do with Jared Kushner. I saw something. But you have the obelisk in Washington, D.C. That's like 666 feet across or inches across or something like that. But if you do a bit of digging, you'll see that this man leaves his number everywhere. You got the 666 in the barcodes. You know, you got these particular apartment buildings in Russia shaped like 666. You know, I know that ain't coincidence. You could just check out the map of Washington, D.C. from a bird's eye view, and you can see that there's pentagrams and Bohemian Grove owls and the compass, the Freemason compass in the square. They got all kind of things going on in Washington, D.C. But, you know, this just shows that these people are Satanists that rule the world, and their favorite number is 666. Because these are the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, these Edomites, man. They're wicked to the core. Look how they're ruling the earth. Their plans of enslaving the whole world. Let's just check out some of their false miracles. I'm going to show you right now. Okay.
AI may be heading into space, but Musk's next invention brings technology closer to home than ever before. Actually, it goes inside the human body. It's called Blind Sight, a chip designed to help blind people see again. It skips the eyes completely and connects directly to the brain. For this purpose, that tiny chip is placed in the part of the brain called the visual cortex, the area that controls how we see. Then, a camera captures what's in front of you and sends the image straight to the chip. From there, the chip sends signals to your brain, and your brain turns those signals into vision. Have a look at this.
Our next product is Blind Sight, which will enable those who have total loss of vision, including if they've lost their eyes or the optic nerve, or maybe have never seen, or even blind from birth, to be able to see again.
He explained that even people who've lost both eyes or were born blind could someday see with this chip as long as the visual part of their brain is still working. At first, the vision won't be clear. Musk compared it to Atari graphics, simple and blocky. But over time, the goal is much bigger. He says the chip could one day offer superhuman vision. That means seeing in infrared or even detecting things like ultraviolet light or radar waves, things no human eye can do today. The device has already been tested in monkeys with promising results. And Musk hinted the first human implant might happen in the United Arab Emirates, where Neuralink is working with the Cleveland Clinic Abu Dhabi to perform the surgery. Still, many experts are cautious. But even with the doubts, one thing is clear. If Blind Sight works, it could change how we think about blindness, the brain, and even human potential. And that makes it one of the most interesting and risky projects Musk has ever tried.
Don't be deceived, man. John the Revelator spoke about the microchips before he understood what they were. Okay? Before he understood exactly what he was seeing. Okay? And he saw this happen, man. Okay? Because you know how I read in the book of Revelations 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, a microchip, in their right hand or in their foreheads. The forehead part is the Neuralink. Okay? And it's becoming very, very clear that it is the Neuralink. Okay, why? Because the scriptures say that it will become very evident. It will become very evident. Okay, that's why it says here in Habakkuk 2, and I'm just going to get to the point at verse 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Okay, so now we know through the prophecies, okay, and through spiritual discernment, we're able to tell that we're at the end. And it says the vision is for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. See? And the vision is talking about the prophecies. Okay, when we're talking about the mark of the beast, that's part of the vision. The vision, the prophecies, is for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. See? Now it's speaking loud and clear. The technology is ripe and ready for this prophecy of the mark of the beast to happen. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So, although it seems like it's taking its time at times, it's going to happen. Just wait for it. Be patient, man. Okay, it's going to happen sooner than you believe, right? So you have to brace yourself for this prophecy, man. Okay, because, you know, we're living in a time where, you know, the whole world is about to fall victim of the wiles of the devil. Okay, wiles meaning tricks, traps. Okay, Esau is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and he has a agenda to enslave all of you. Okay, so, you know, why would it not be in the Bible? Why would it not be biblical? This is their ultimate goal of their New World Order agenda, man. Okay, it's such a major thing. Why would it not be biblical? Let's read this here. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, starting at 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, right? So no false prophets, you know, not your neighbor, your best friend, not your mom, your dad. Don't let anybody deceive you, man. Okay, and, you know, to guard yourself from deception, you got to have a good knowledge and understanding of this Bible, man, because this is what's going to keep you from being deceived. Okay, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, meaning the day of the Lord shall not come, except there come a falling away first. Okay, when did this falling away happen? Or has it happened? That great falling away was when the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans fell from their heritage, you know, when they went into slavery. Okay, this was the great falling away from our power, man. When we were stripped of our heritage, our land, our identity, all of that. We were stripped. It was stripped from us. That was the great falling away. So that's already happened, okay? And now it says the man of sin, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Perdition means destruction. So that man of destruction is Esau Edom, and he's been revealed. It wasn't too long ago we found out that the so-called white man was Esau Edom. We didn't know this before. They weren't teaching us that in Christianity. There's no movies about Jacob and Esau. I didn't even know who Jacob and Esau were before I came into this truth, man. Okay? Everything I thought I knew about the Bible when I came into this truth, I had to scrap it all, man. Because I realized that I was taught lies. For years I believed lies, man. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, which happened during the transatlantic slave trade. It says, and that man of sin be revealed, Esau Edom. He's revealed now, the son of perdition. It says in verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. So he thinks this is why he's called the adversary. Okay, because he's adverse to the ways of the Lord. He's adverse to the right way. This is the reason why the world is in such a bad shape right now, because this man tries to rule, you know, opposite of the ways of the Lord. He tries to rule the world in a way that opposes and challenges the Most High. So it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. You know, and they do this through, you know, their image of white Jesus, right? They got that in our mind, you know, and they got our people believing that the Lord looks like them, the Edomites, the so-called white man, which is far from the truth. So that, the temple of the Most High is us. We're the temple of the Lord, man. Okay, and the Lord don't dwell in temples made with hands. He's dwelling among the children of Israel, and what he's done is he's set up, his image, and, he's got his talking points, his wine that he's, which is his philosophies, which he spews out upon the world, and he makes out like he could do better than the Lord. Talking about AI rewriting the Bible and coming up with new concepts and this and that and telling us what's right and what's wrong. This man, he opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, okay, or that is worship, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. It says, remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things, and now ye know that what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. And this is the time of Esau, Edom, and his time of being revealed, okay? He was only supposed to rule and deceive the world for a short season, and now that season is up. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work, meaning he's already in power, he's ruling. It says, only he who now letteth, which is Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, only he who now letteth will let, meaning let him rule until he be taken out of the way, okay? Because this man weren't meant to rule the world forever. He's ruling the world in wickedness for a short season, and that season is almost up. All right. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, starting with their elites. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets. We're bringing out this gospel, and it's consuming these devils, man. These Edomites, the wicked. Okay, we're consuming them with the spirit of the Lord's mouth, which is the prophets. It says, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Okay, because the Lord is coming with thousands of angels, thousands of heaven, the chariots of fire. And it's going to be bright. It's going to be a bright and glorious day, man. Okay. And verse 10, it says, and with all deceivableness. No, actually. Verse 9, Salakia. So the Lord's going to destroy Esau, Edom with the brightness of his coming, which is going to be by the chariots and the nuclear missiles. Verse 9, it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, which is Esau, because the Edomites are the spiritual, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon, spiritual angel Satan, okay? It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. And this is the main precept I wanted to bring out concerning that video clip that I just played, man. Because this man is talking about making people see that have been blind from birth with this Neuralink technology. People gonna be lining up for this stuff like it's the new, like they skipped 10 iPhones and just went straight into the future, man. Okay. People gonna be lining up like this is just amazing. Okay, but the elect won't be deceived. Okay, we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. Okay. So it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all signs and lying wonders. Okay, with their, raining fire from the sky, and they can control the weather. These people think they're the most high up in there, man. But they are just mortal men, okay? Bleed like the rest of us, and the Lord gonna make them bleed for sure. It says in verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. And that's talking about the 2/3 that are going to be deceived by this devil, man. All right. So, might as well read the rest, 11 and 12 here that I got highlighted. It says, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. You got our people believing that Donald Trump is a good guy, that he's trying to help America. You know, he's trying to make America great again. You actually got people that are deceived in that manner. You got people deceived into thinking that their vote counted and that it ever counted. You got people deceived into thinking that the savior is a so-called white man and that his name is Jesus. Okay. So that's why it says here, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Okay, these people believe everything Esau says through the media, through their propaganda, through their sorcery, right? Putting spells on you through the Telai vision. Verse 12, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Because these people are in a spirit wanting to see the things go back to normal, and the Lord wants to destroy this place because it's unrighteous, man. Okay? You didn't believe the truth because you got offended at it. Okay? The Israelites have been out here on the highways and hedges and on the internet teaching the true gospel, but you don't believe the truth. You don't believe the Lord. So you know you marked yourself for death by not believing. Okay? And any of you that take that MOTB, you're showing that you don't believe in the Lord's way. You don't believe in the Lord. You believe in Esau. You believe in this system, this government, this deception that they got going on, man. Okay? If you're not wise enough to see that you are being screwed over by Satan in the flesh, spiritual demon Satan in the flesh, pretty much, being Esau Edom, okay? You got Donald Trump in the White House. I'm the least racist president, he said. Can you believe he said that? If you knew half the stuff that us men of the Lord understand about that, man. Boy. But, you know, most of you are just under strong delusions, still stuck in Christianity, still stuck in Islam until the day that the Lord destroys you with them ICBM nuclear missiles, man. All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, starting at 4. And this is another vision John Revelator had. He said, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, they being the elect, or the first fruits. It says, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded. Okay, the Israelites will be judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, they'll sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel, the scriptures speak about. So that's what that's what John the Revelator saw when he had this vision on the Isle of Patmos while he was imprisoned. Okay, he said, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. Okay, that's rulership for the Israelites. It says, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai. Okay, it says, I am for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received their mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahushai 1,000 years. Okay, so during the first 1,000-year period, it's going to be a period of building up the foundation of the kingdom of heaven, which the elect will have servants doing that. Okay, the Bible speaks about that, you know, the elect will be in rest, and the ones that live deliciously, they're going to be in slavery pretty much. Okay, and what it's saying here is that the ones that didn't receive the mark will worship the beast in his image. You know, they didn't bow down to this system. So the elect, in other words, the elect of the nation of Israel, some of them were beheaded, okay, because of, you know, their resistance. Okay, because Esau is going to set laws to make it to where you will be put to death if you don't receive this mark, man. So it's very important that you resist it at all costs. Okay, because to be a martyr for the Lord, you've still gotten the victory, and that's a quick and painless death, man. For you to have your head chopped off in one blow, you ain't gonna feel nothing, man. All right, so don't even chicken out when it comes to that. be 10 toes down. It's literally a one-way ticket to the kingdom, man. You just lay up there, get your head chopped off, slap, bang, done. Easy. Job done, man. And then you're at rest, all right? So, you know, that's it on this lesson. I just wanted to bring those clips to your attention. I'm going to play that last one right now. But, you know, Esau's got his false miracles. Elon Musk has got his false miracles. And, you know, they're trying to deceive the world with these false miracles, these lying wonders. So don't be deceived, all right? Because anybody that receives that mark will be tormented with fire and brimstone. Let me quickly grab that and we'll close it out with that. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, starting at 9. It says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture," meaning the full strength of it. There ain't gonna be no chaser, nothing to weaken it, no mercy. You're going to receive the full brunt of the Lord's wrath, okay? And that's not a good thing, okay? So if anybody receives this mark, if you bow down and consent to this beast system, okay, it says, "The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High," meaning there's no repentance from that. There's no taking it and changing your mind. You take it, you are screwed. That's why you got to be 10 toes down with the truth, okay? Because if you are somewhat leaning upon these false teachings from these false prophets that it might not be the microchip, then you've lost already, man. Because they're gonna cause you, by making you very hungry, they're gonna cause it's gonna be an orchestrated famine, okay? And they're gonna say, okay, the only way that you can get relief from this messed up condition that the world is in, okay, because it's gonna when this collapses, they're gonna let people starve to death. It's gonna be chaos. People are gonna be begging for help. That's why I said, if you're not 10 toes down in the understanding that the mark of the beast is a physical mark and it is the microchip and the Neuralink, then, you know, if you're not 10 toes down with that and you got any doubt in your mind because you've been deceived by these false teachers, then when you're hungry, you are going to take that mark, man. I'm telling you right now, your flesh will get the best of you during that time. So this is why it's very important to learn from the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who possess the 100% truth and are the true prophets that the Lord has sent in these end times, man. All right. So verse 10, it says, "The same," meaning the ones that receive the mark, "the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation," which indignation means righteous anger. It says, "And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone," which is nuclear fire, "in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb," because the angels and the Lamb, which is Yahushua, are going to be there above Babylon the Great, aka America, when it's destroyed. And anyone that bows down to this system and receives the mark, they're going to be left there to cook while the angels are above delivering the elect, okay? That's what this is talking about. This is what John the Revelator saw, man. And it says, "And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever," okay? It doesn't mean that your body's just going to be smoldering forever, okay? It just means a long time. It says, "And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name," okay? So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. And yes, don't take it, man. That's the best thing I could say. Don't take it, man. All right, stick your middle finger up to Esau when he's trying to chip you up, okay? Don't bottle it. Don't chicken out, man. Okay, because the reward is gonna be way worth any suffering that you gotta endure during this time, man. The reward is gonna be way more than you can even imagine. All right, so it all comes down to this moment. Don't fail. You know, stay prayed up. Pray the Lord, you know, gets you through this time, man. Let's close it out with this
Look
AI.
so like, yeah, let's close it out with this last clip I got of goofy Elon Musk, Red Edomite. Check this out. I'll close it out here. I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Kodash. All right, Shalom.
I think I think some kind of brain machine interface that can give you cybernetic superpowers, I think, is probably good. It could, help people that have brain or spine injuries. Enable people who've never spoken for years to speak again, which we've done. Give people eyesight who have lost both eyes or the optic nerve, or maybe have never even seen at all, blind from birth, by direct interface to the optical centers in the brain. You can actually restore eyesight or give people eyesight that they've never had before, and you can enable people to walk again, which I think is profound. I mean, these are kind of Jesus level things, like let's say, like when technologies are hitting like Jesus level miracles, that's pretty good.
Man said Jesus level miracles, and we know he's talking about Yahweh Shai, the real name of the Lord. But, this is his lying wonders, man. Okay, don't be deceived, all right? Shalom.